Hi there. I wanted to share a little bit more about where I'm at in the book that I was telling you about the other day, A More Excellent Way. So last night before bed, I was reading chapter 7 on fear, stress, and physiology. And he's talking specifically about multiple chemical sensitivities and environmental illness. I don't technically have those things, but I definitely have a lot of sensitivities to chemicals, smells, being around computers and stuff too much. It drains me. Certain smells make me feel sick and dizzy and weird. And so he talks about a couple of case histories where people are diagnosed with these things and they literally have to live in some place in the desert inside one room with tin foil and sheetrock, and they can't wear clothing or anything because they're so sick. And on top of that, he lists all the different things that are wrong with them in addition to the chemical sensitivity and how it's affected their lives. Like they're literally not living and they're wasting away down to like one food. Anyway, I just wanted to give a little bit of just an overview of that, but he's worked with these kinds of people and they have recovered by dealing with the root causes. But I wanted to read something that really stood out to me last night. This is specifically for women, just something I found very interesting in talking about these chemical sensitivities and things. But he's talking about how women are so much more affected by stress and coming from environments of stress. And it says, I have an article about why females lose the emotional end of marital spats. The guys are over it as soon as it happens. The women do not recover for a long time. The damage to the immune system in a female who comes from strife in the home is incredible. In America, 85 to 90% of the people who have multiple chemical sensitivity and environmental illness are female. The reason why the female is the one who gets sick is because she is more susceptible to the spiritual and emotional damage. God created the female to be a responder to good, strong spiritual leadership, not to abuse. He also goes on to say that in looking more into these kinds of illnesses, and he knows a lot about the medical side of things because this book is loaded with actual studies and things from medical books and doctors and stuff. But he says, my findings in thousands of cases across America over the years is that MCS or EI is the result of a breakup in the human relationship between the person who has the disease and someone else. The other person is usually a close family member, and one or more of 4 life circumstances is involved. I have found this in every person I have ministered to without exception. Here are the 4 life circumstances that exist collectively or singly in these people. 1, verbal and or emotional abuse. 2, physical abuse. 3, sexual abuse. 4, drivenness to meet the expectations of a parent in order to receive love. And then it says, concurrently, the individuals find themselves living in an atmosphere sterile of love and emotion, and it seems like they are in a straitjacket as far as relationships are concerned. And then the next thing that he said really hit me hard, even though I've known that I've had stress issues all my life and fear and anxiety and all that. But he actually says right here, MCS and EI is an anxiety disorder compromising the immune system to the degree that allergies, simple and complex, eventually develop. And then it goes on. There's a lot here. But he also talked not just about chemical sensitivities and those things, but the fear issue, fear, anxiety, and stress, are huge, huge issues and the root of many, many illnesses. And just about every issue that I have physically is rooted in fear, anxiety, stress, and also some broken heart issues and other issues like that. But the fear and anxiety one is big. But when I read that part there where he literally says that it's an anxiety disorder, that hit me like a ton of bricks last night. All my focus for so many years has been on the actual physical problems I'm having. Like, how do I deal with the food sensitivities? How do I deal with the osteoporosis? How do I deal with tinnitus and hypoglycemia and candida and all those things? And when I read that, it just hit me really hard, like, wow, what I have is an anxiety disorder. That's what has to be dealt with. And what he does is he helps people get to the root causes of these issues. And when those root causes are dealt with, the physical problems go away because your body is no longer fighting the fear, the anxiety, the constant onslaught of the fight or flight hormones and how they over time just damage you head to toe. And he explains all of that in the book. He explains exactly physically, physiologically what it does to your glands, your hypothalamus, and how things get sent here and there, and how it damages us and causes those all the reactions and everything. But I just think it's really opening my eyes to a lot of things. And like I said when I talked about this book before, I'm not saying whether this book is the best thing or the worst thing or anything like that. And I've read good reviews, I've read bad reviews, but there's a lot of testimonies of people that have got healed through this ministry. So I'm not here to say, oh, everybody should run out and buy this book or anything, but I'm getting a lot from it, and it just rings true with me because everything that he's saying, I can relate to it, and it really makes sense to me. Just the things that he describes about how the stress and anxiety and everything affects people, I can see it in myself, and it's like a real eye-opener. So the big takeaway mainly for me is this is a stress disorder, an anxiety disorder that turns into us becoming physically sick because of what's constantly going on in our bodies. And obviously there's other root issues too. There's the broken heart. There's bitterness, there's unforgiveness, there's resentment, there's unbelief, there's lack of trust, lack of faith in God, there's self-hatred. There's all kinds of underlying root issues that need to be acknowledged and addressed in our lives. So I am just really praying that the Lord continues to show me these things and to guide me, and I hope that you will do the same. Really ask the Lord to search your heart and show you anything in your life that is hindering you and holding you back and making it so you can't live in the fullness that God wants to give you and in the joy and in the peace. Because if you're anything like me, my life, even as a Christian, I haven't had a lot of joy. I haven't had a lot of peace. I have felt very hindered. I feel like there's chains around me and I'm just stuck. And I want to be set free, and Jesus wants to set us free, but we have to look at the root causes. He's not going to just come along and give us a miracle and say, boom, all your health problems are gone. Because if the soul issues and the spiritual issues aren't dealt with, we would just get sick again anyway, because our body would go right back into the same processes as how we got sick to begin with. So please look into these things, search your own heart, ask God to guide you and help you. And I wish you the very best. Feel free to write me a message, send me a note, let me know if you're going to give the book a shot. I got mine on eBay. So again, it's called A More Excellent Way by Henry Wright. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.